There we go. So what we've done is all of the events that we were able to record for the Kickstart events are now here in one place. So today's will be up there when we're done. But this way, if you want to relook at something, if somebody has not been on this any of these programs and want to start and want to see what we have to offer, they can come right here. It's one site and just click on this and you can go straight to those videos.
And just to jump in, because we've been asked this, we did not record the Food for Life videos. That was not allowed by PPMNY because it's proprietary information, though what we were able to do with PPMNY is in a variety of different places on the website and in some other ways, incorporate a lot of the information that we got during the presentations, like all of the recipes, things like that, we were able to incorporate into what we're doing, just not recordings of the entire event.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so now we have recipes. Now over here, I have plant-based recipes only. So this way you can click on here and a lot of them are the plant-based recipes that from our events, from our nutrition team. And then some other website things that I have posted on here. Cooking videos, we have the cooking videos from the plant-based programs. You can click on there and you can find some of the videos that we have offered from the nutrition team as well. And here's just recipes, sort of a sample of a day of plant-based eating. That was from Deborah. Stocking your plant-based kitchen. Sometimes if you're getting started, you don't know all the supplies. PPMNY was nice enough to send us a list. It's pretty extensive, but you can actually download these and even print them off if you would like to keep it for yourself. Another issue is sometimes people are concerned about eating enough protein if you're going completely plant-based. So this is a little something about that, but if you click on the picture, it actually has a pretty good downloadable document, PDF, that has not just only different plant food that has protein in it, but it tells you how many grams are a serving and some of the other nutrients that are in those foods. And here, this is more general health information. So the articles, if you click on that, I have a page that has plant-based articles and then some other things, because we shared that with another page that I'm going to show you shortly. Soy and health. This is just a fact sheet, and this you can see it's fish, health concerns about fish, and we will keep adding to this as we have more things to share. So you're just going to have to keep coming back. Now I'm just going to quickly go to the top. I want to show you here a couple other pages we have. This is the Rss Wellness Corner. I'm going to click on here. This is another page. It is under our health management. I'm just going to show you that here so you know where to navigate. This is just our general health under services. You go to health management and scroll down, and there you have the Rss Wellness Corner. Okay, so if you ever want to find us, you can. And this is just general health. Here you've got March health. So we're going to talk nutrition, cooking. These are cooking videos and recipes. They're not, you will find the plant-based information in there, but you will also find non-plant-based things. So Maudine had a great recipe that people loved on turkey sausage. You will find that recipe there. A couple fish recipes. Same articles that you can find, and this is more of infographics if for some reason you decide you need to hang something up on your wall or share. All right, so we have health tips. We're going a little more holistic, workouts, exercise information, mindfulness. So we're just trying to cover a little bit of everything. I'm going to go back to the plant-based Kickstart. All right, let me know if I'm going too fast. Up here, we have plant-based events. So you can find all this under classes, certainly, or in our health section. But if you want things that are specifically geared towards eating healthy, this is where you're going to find anything that is plant-focused, plant eating focused. Okay.
Also, we're willing to put in non-RSS events in here. So if there are events going on that you know about, certainly if we get events from the Department for the Aging, we'll put them in here. We'll just indicate that the way I've been doing on the regular calendar, that it's not an RSS event.
Correct. Like this one right here, the Grow NYC. So cabbage. Okay, let's go back. And then over here, I just want to show you if you have, and we'll repeat this at the end, if you have now any questions about health, about food, that are related to any of the things that we're talking about here, we now have a new email, food@rssny.org. Send it. I will be taking a look at it. If I cannot answer, I will certainly forward any questions to the appropriate person and have them get back to you. We still have the info one, and that is going to be for our whatever we're normally events and other types of things. We have here Plant Powered Metro New York. I just want to show you. Now I have the other URLs here. This is so if you download this later on, you can go directly to these pages, but I'm just going to show you their site. And they have a lot of information. What I'm going to do really is go to this one here, which is Learn. And we'll take it one step at a time. If you're looking for some meals, recipes and things and information, this is their WFPB, Whole Food Plant-Based Meal Prep. And if you scroll down, we have all sorts of meal planning and culinary resources. They have them as different ethnic foods. So we have soul food, Caribbean, Haitian, some things in Spanish, and Passover recipes. So we'll click on this, and you can see here that they do still have a little information, how to stock your kitchen, what kind of food you want, dishes, and then they do have some recipes. For the one that is, I think, the Passover one, they actually have links to other sites where you can download recipes, dietary considerations, compilations, and they have a lot of links here for you to go to if you want to keep kosher over Passover or any other time. We'll go back to Learn. Okay.
Well, it's not necessarily to keep kosher, it's to be plant-based during Passover.
Right. And of course, kind of looking it up, kosher is pretty much by default if you're vegan or if you're eating only plant-based. They have a lot of their YouTube. So you have Cooking with Chef Carol. So she does have some other of her cooking videos, some other information that could be useful or just interesting. And they have a huge page of all sorts of resources. So how do I get started? The 7-day Kickstart, movies that you can watch, books. I mean, they have an extensive list of books that for information. Where can I find evidence-based science? I'll get that out. So you have a few websites, organizations that are recommending whole food plant-based diets, and podcasts that you might be interested in listening to. So now we're going to go to their recipes. Now they do have a whole lot of list of recipes, but what you have to do, and Margie, I don't know if you want to, we can talk about this. They have it through an app. So I am going to show you, if you go here, you're going to access their recipe app.
We're going to walk through that because several people have been very confused about this, and you can access the app so that it can be on your phone, but we're going to primarily just show you how to look at it on your tablet or on your computer, basically looking through a website.
Right. And let me see if I can sign out. Oh, there we go. I'm going to sign out because I was okay. So we're going to put in an email address.
So first you're going to that recipes page, then you're going to put in your email address.
Okay, hit continue. They're
And then you're going to go to your email, because an email is going to come to your phone that asks you for a PIN number. It gives you a PIN number that you have to put in.
Oh, come on. You know, I might have to put in a different email just because, let me just go back. Because I put in my Gmail, I can't remember my password. Hold on a second. Okay, I know I've got this. Okay, my apologies. There we go. Gmail. And there we go. Okay, got it. All right, so we're going to put in the PIN. Okay, sign in.
And that's what a lot of people have been confused about. They've been confused about this whole PIN. You have to go to your email to get the PIN. A PIN does not show up any other way.
Okay.
And then you can show it full screen.
I'm gonna, yeah, so you can see this is how it's gonna look on your phone. But yeah, you can go full screen. I'm just gonna scroll down. They have different information, but I'm going to now, at the bottom here, you can see in your kitchen, recipes in English, in Spanish. So I'm gonna click on recipes in English.
I didn't see that on mine, but.
On the website?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
At the very bottom. Can you see it here?
I can't. I don't know if other people can. I can't.
Oh, okay. All right. Trust me, down at the very bottom, it gives you options to click on. So, well, let me see if, just out of curiosity, show full screen. No. Okay. So you have to go to the bottom. So and now you can see they have all sorts of recipes that you can just scroll down. I think you can add favorites. So you can click on things that are your favorites. Over here at the top here, I think you can search for like breakfast, lunch, that kind of thing. But otherwise, it's got quite a lot of options that are here.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so I think that covers them. We also have another organization called Forks Over Knives that Plant Powered Metro New York does use. Now, why we chose them, they are extremely well known. Many years ago, they did a documentary on plant-based foods, also connecting it to the agricultural system, the issues that have come up with the ecosystem and that kind of thing, and why plant-based eating is a healthier option, not just for us, but for the planet. They do have a well-known book that was also published on the New York Times bestseller list at one point. So here is their website. And you can see here, if I click on recipes, that there are quite a few recipes that you can go to. 24 vegan meals you can make in 20 minutes or less, recipes for casseroles, I mean, you name it. There are more than enough things that you can go to share and to get food options. So did you want to talk? All right, so I think that was okay. Books. We have a few books that were recommended. That was the word I was looking for, by our nutrition team. So these are also very well known. And the cookbooks also by the nutrition team. The two at the bottom are ones that I've used a lot. My cookbooks wore out. And the Moosewood cookbook it's plant-based. Andrea particularly likes it. I've heard of it, actually. It's very well known. It's plant-based, it's not vegan. So they do have some dairy, eggs, but it's a very good cookbook.
Mark Bittman is an interesting story because I used to work with Mark Bittman when I worked in publishing. He is a writer for the New York Times. He's one of their writers in cooking, and he has a lot of very well-known cookbooks. He had gained a great deal of weight and had a lot of health problems, and he became plant-based only. So he has a series of cookbooks that are about vegetables and soups and things like that that are really extraordinary, because he is a wonderful chef, really, and a wonderful cookbook author in terms of explaining things to people. So I would add sort of any vegetable cookbook by Mark Bittman is really extraordinary. Because he's so well known from his work with the New York Times, and he's a kind of weird guy, but he as a chef he is pretty extraordinary. So his books are really good. So I would add any cookbook by him to the list of cookbooks to look at.
Okay, now I have something I have to look for. Okay.
So one of the things that I'm struggling with is what I need to eat every day has been a real struggle. Like how much of things I used to be, you just pulled away from it.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, got it.
So one of the things that I got from Deborah that I found really helpful that I've pasted on my refrigerated door is this Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. Dr. Greger also is somebody who works with PPMNY. He is an MD who focuses on plant-based eating. And you can't see it that well here, but we're going to send you the link so that you'll be able to get it, and we're going to post it up on the website also. But it'll tell you, like, you need to have a half a cup of berries every day. You need to have this many servings of green leafy vegetables a day. You have to have this much flaxseed, like I think it's a couple of tablespoons of flaxseed every day. And it's been really helpful to me in terms of trying to put some structure around plant-based eating, because I find that part of it a little bit confusing, concerning on how to get everything that I need to eat in one day. And when you look at it this way, it also feels like it's a lot of food that you would possibly be eating. So we're going to go to the next slide. So I'm going to talk a little bit about plant-based apps. How many people here, and either you can unmute yourself or raise your hand, how many people here use smartphones? Because that's important for us to be able to understand. Can you look at that, Barbara, and tell me how many, because I can't do both simultaneously.
Hold on, let me take a look. I got 1, 2, 3. That's it? 3 people?
No.
Use their
wait.
smartphones?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so
okay.
it looks like we have probably at least half the people that use smartphones, because if nobody was using smartphones, I wouldn't go through this. But there are quite a few apps that are very helpful. I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully this is going to work.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing so you can.
So this is my phone, and these are some of the apps that I'm using. I'm going to go to 2, and then Barbara's going to show you. Those 2 also have, can we make sure everyone's muted, Barbara? Because I'm hearing a lot of feedback. We have someone who's saying that they use Happy Cows. So the 2 that I'm going to just show you quickly today are 2 that also have websites attached to them, really 3. So Daily Dozen, Happy Cow, Forks Meal Planner, they all have websites that are attached to them. So if you're only using a computer, you can go to them. If you're using a tablet or a smartphone, you can download the app. So anyone who has a tablet can also download these apps. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one we were just talking about, and that's the Daily Dozen. So I have to remember not to touch the screen and to touch yes. So everything that I'm showing you right now, I was asked if they're free. They're all free. Some of them have upgrade options, as people know. And so in an upgrade option, you can pay to get more than you're currently getting on the apps. So that's an option for definitely the forks over knives is definitely an option to go to something that is upgraded. But everything I'm showing you right now is no charge to them. So I also have to remember to touch my phone, not the screen. So for instance, if I look at berries and I click on, there's a little eye there, and I click on it, you'll see it tells you basically to get what you need that day, you have to have either a half cup of fresh or frozen or a quarter cup of dried. Like that's what you need. So you have to have at least a half cup fresh of berries a day. So what I've been using this for is when I've eaten something, I look at what the criteria are. I'm going to uncheck it and say, okay, I had a bunch of strawberries today. So therefore I can go in here and check that off and say, I've completed my berries for the day. So I have found this, and it has all the same things that were on that chart that I showed you. I have found this one for me to be really very helpful. In some ways more helpful than just like posting it, you know, on my refrigerated door, because a lot of times I'm not home when I eat some of that stuff. So that's one. Another one that I think Barbara was saying she already uses and I have found helpful is Happy Cow. So we're going to go in there. They want a lot of stuff from me. I'm not, all right, so you can have my, I don't want to give them my, okay. I'm not giving them any of my information right now. So you can search by business name or keyword. You can also search by zip code. So if I put in my zip code, 10463, and I hit search, it still wants that. All right, hold on a second. I've got to give them permission. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so now it should let me get in there. Okay, let's see if it's going to let me do it now. I don't know what it's doing here. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. It's making me sign up. Can we go to the website? Let's go to the website. It's the same way. I don't know why it's giving me so much trouble. Let's just go to the website for a second.
That's fine. There we go.
And then we'll go back and I'll show you the app again. It just wants me to give them a bunch of permission. So let's just go to the Happy Cow website. So this is the same thing you're going to see on the app. And I don't know why it wasn't, when we rehearsed this, of course, it wasn't giving it. Can you go to the top, please? It wasn't giving, go to the top of the page. It wasn't giving us any issues, but if you go in and put in 10463,
okay.
Search for city, region, or zip code, put in 10463.
Come on, search. Let's do it. It is no results for. Let's try this in cities. Okay, let's try Bronx. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, you should still be able to get in by zip code though, which is really what's weird.
No, let me see if I can search business risks. No, it's not letting me. It's going for search city.
Hold on, let me just try something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not letting us in. It's basically doing everything that it was not doing when we were rehearsing it. It did everything perfectly, and now it won't. So we can't do Happy Cow, but basically what happens, can you try 10463 again? It doesn't make any sense to me that it's not letting you do that. Then click search.
Yep, I just did. It's not letting me. It says no results.
Yeah, okay, I don't know what's going on. Can we go back to letting me? So that's,
okay. Yeah, there you go.
we know it works. We know people are using it. Basically what happens is when you type in a zip code, and we're going to figure out what's going on here, but when you type in a zip code, when I type in 10463, for instance, it gives me Moss Cafe as one of the first things that you see. Please repeat the IRS.
The RSS link.
Okay, let's finish this and then we'll go ahead and do that. because I think it's going to get a little confusing otherwise. All right, we're going to go back into sharing. Hold on a second. Okay. So I don't know what happened with Happy Cow, but it isn't really a good website if you're looking to eat out. It's a really excellent website, and I have found there's also a place called Happy Health that's in Dykeman that I've been using a lot and ordering food from there. So it's a really good site. The other thing that I'm going to show you is the forks over knives. So this is an example of what we're talking about, free versus not free. So the free is what you're seeing. And so what Forks Over Knife does, which I think is very nice, is that it gives you sort of like weekly planning. So for every day, it gives you a breakfast recipe, a lunch recipe, a dinner recipe. If you upgrade, and the upgrade is pretty expensive for Forks Over Knives, what it basically does is it gives you a much wider array of potential meals each day. And it also customizes the meal. So basically you can say, here's what I want to, here's the kinds of foods I like to eat, and it customizes meals for you. But it's costing about $10 a month to do that. So I would not necessarily recommend the upgrade, because I think with the free, you're getting a lot of benefit. The other ones that I use that do not necessarily have websites attached to them that I have found really good. The 21 Day Vegan is a website that basically is the 21 Day Kickstart that is affiliated with PPMNY. So if you want to, and they have a class in a 21 Day Vegan Kickstart that is not cheap to take. It's about, you know, I think about $30. You know, depending on what deal you can work out with them. Everything that is in that 21 Day Kickstart is in here. And so I have found this one to be really wonderful, and it is, there's not a charge for it. So for that one, you just want to look, it's called 21 Day Vegan Kickstart. And so you just want to look for that one, because that one is really a terrific one. And then also there are a number of websites, apps that really focus in on vegan recipes. This one is one that is extremely highly rated. It was like 4.6 rating, and many, many people have downloaded it. And it really just gives you a very wide array of potential recipes. So I think, you know, what we're giving you today is also tons of vegan recipes that you can potentially choose from. Between PPMNY, what we're doing at RSS, and what some of these websites offer you, there's no lack
Sky's the limit
of vegan recipes for us to be able to use. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or you can just start sharing.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm on it. All right.
Get rid of Happy Cow. You anger me, Happy Cow. Mad cow.
Bad cow. Bad cow.
And we're going to get back to Roberta's question. Can you go on?
Can I go, which?
You're going to the next page.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Okay. The other thing we just wanted to talk about briefly, because it's something that I'm looking at doing. I live alone. I am not a wonderful cook. I am not even particularly interested in cooking. I'm one of those people that buys a lot of stuff for cooking, and then I don't get to it and I throw it out. So one of the things I think everyone knows about many of these food delivery services, you see them advertised on TV all the time. Martha Stewart has one. These are basically meal delivery services that do one of either two things. Some of them deliver meals complete, cooked, and given to you. And the other ones basically give you all of the ingredients for the meal and the recipe, and then you create the meal yourself. And they usually come in kits of between 5 to 10 meals per week. Those are food delivery services. And right, so basically we'll talk about that, Mary, when we talk about what each one sort of delivers. And so some of these, I'm hearing from Mary, you may also be able to get individual meals at Target, but this is a way to kind of, for me, to jumpstart becoming more vegan and to also get a wider variety of vegan food that I might feel comfortable cooking myself. And frankly, ordering in vegan, which I've been doing some, is extremely expensive. It's very expensive. Like, you know, to order, a chickpea tuna sandwich can cost you something like $10 or $11. When you look at the can of chickpeas, costs you like $2, and you need some mayonnaise, and you could probably do it yourself. So eating out is expensive. So we're going to talk about some of these plant-based food delivery services. The average cost of them is $10 per meal. All of them have starter deals. So a lot of them have something where it's like you can get 10 meals for like $30. It's $150 off for the first time you order. So you could go to a lot of these services and order just once and then cancel your subscription with them and get all of these like great deals. Like I said, they're cheaper than eating out or ordering in. They're more expensive than buying ingredients and cooking on your own. I'm also looking at Barbara's note, which I'm going to need you, Barbara, to sometimes jump in with some of this, but let me just finish this and then you can talk about the comments that are there. It potentially is more expensive than buying the ingredients and cooking on your own, but you can also be someone like me who buys a lot of ingredients, doesn't cook or doesn't cook enough, and then ends up throwing out a lot of stuff. So everything's kind of a trade-off. Most offer options of pre-prepared meals as well. I sort of call them upscale TV dinners, and I think Barbara's going to talk about a couple of comments we have on that. What I like about some of these kits is that they give you all of the ingredients in the kit if you want to cook it yourself, but only the amount that you'll actually need to make that specific meal. So Barbara, why don't you talk about a couple of the comments?
Okay, so we've got a couple things here that says Target has some purple carrot frozen dinners. So that's something that might be easy to just run over there. Barbara was saying that she's seen purple carrot on Whole Foods delivered via Amazon Prime. So that's another way of sourcing it.
Okay, those I think were the two that came up about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we go back to the other page?
Oh, yes, sorry. I didn't realize hold on. There we go.
So we're going to just take you quickly to two of the sites, because I also don't know whether or not, for instance, the ones that you might go to Target and get, I don't know if they're charging you more than it would cost if you ordered them online. That would be hard to say without knowing the cost differential. So if we look at purple carrot, then this is basically, can you start at the top of the screen? This is basically what you'll see at most of them. So one of the things that you often see at the top, and you may see it during the Green Chef, is it talks to you about whatever their current deals are right now. Right now, they're wanting to tell you that you might experience delays in getting your shipment, but a lot of times what you'll see in there is whatever their current deal is. But all you have to do usually is just go online, and when you search for them, you're going to see whatever their special deals are that month. So then you choose what kind of meal plan you want, number of servings. Okay, can you scroll up? Sorry, the number of servings you want, the number of dinners per week. It gives you a cost per serving. And so you'll see it's sort of saying each one in this case is $11. The weekly price is $71, but they're going to give you basically 8 meals for $46, which is that's a pretty good deal. Because 8 meals ordered any other way, unless you cook at them yourself, is going to be a lot more than $46. I could tell you that, having ordered in a lot of stuff. If you scroll down then.
It says,
no, I want to first go over that and then we'll go to Mary's comment. So what you'll see here is you'll also see basically what is their offering for that particular week, for that particular kit, I mean. So it's a pretty, again, very kind of robust offering that they have each week for you to be able to pick from. And a lot of them are, can we go backwards a little bit? A lot of them are things that, even to be really honest, if I had all the ingredients, I don't know that I would be making myself. If you scroll down to the end of the page, I think Mary is saying that, and there's a lot of FAQs here, that there are recipes. that maybe you have to go into some of those
Oh, there we
recipes to
go.
see them? Okay.
Okay, so let's just go to the root salad.
Right, so
And
they'll
there you
show
go.
you how to make that. So for me, let's look at that as an example. I would have to be like, oh my God, I don't have agave. I don't have brown rice in the house right now. I'm gonna have to get cashew cheese. I'm either gonna have to make cashew cheese myself by taking the cashews and doing that whole thing with a bag and all of that kind of stuff. Or I'm gonna have to go someplace and buy it and have a whole bunch of cashew cheese that like I never know when I'm gonna be able to use. So for me, that's why I look at that and say there's a benefit to me to potentially using this rather than having to do all this cooking myself. So some of that's like a judgment call. If you love to cook and you're going to want to have all of these things in your house, then this is not for you. It's more for people like me who eat out a lot or order in a lot. And you want to just go to Green Chef?
Yep. Oh, sorry, wrong one. And there we go. Green Chef.
So frankly, Green Chef is the most highly rated one. Purple Carrot has a lot of attention and has a lot of relationships with places like Target, but Green Chef is the one that is the most well-known and most popular in the vegan community. And they have the same thing. So they're saying here, enjoy a total of 140 off through your first five, throughout your first 5 boxes. And it gives you a whole bunch of details about how you can get all of these different discounts. But I think it's the same thing if we scroll down. You'll see again what they have offered. You have to go to the one that's plant-based.
Okay, so we have a tier weekly menu, and then we have options. Oh, okay, I'm declining an offer right now. You can go down to plant-based or plant-powered, and you can see all the options that they have for this week for plant-based meals.
Right. Can you scroll down a little bit? So I like them because I also felt like there was much more of a robust kind of offering from them of like risotto and portobello stuff that I was not really seeing in the Purple Carrot. But for me, I'm going to probably try a bunch of them because to me, it's also a way to, particularly when you don't buy them already pre-done, to learn how to do some of this cooking in a way where all the ingredients are given to me all at once with the instructions. So we're just putting it out there for some people who might be interested in it or know people who are interested in using some of these programs. Do they come fresh or frozen? So here's what happens. If you're getting the pre-prepared already done, then they come, basically they're Federal Express to you and they're in that, what do you call that, hot ice or cold ice, whatever that kind of ice is that they send in the mail to keep things fresh. So they come in those, and then you can put them, you just have to refrigerate them. You don't have to freeze them to be able to use. If you're getting the ingredients basically come to you, hot ice, thank you, Randy, I couldn't remember. I knew it was hot something, hot ice. If you're ordering with just the ingredients, they basically, because most of these ingredients don't have to be in hot ice, some of them may occasionally need to be able to, they give you all the ingredients. It comes in like all kinds of aluminum packaging to keep it all fresh. Because when I used to use HelloFresh a while ago. HelloFresh doesn't have vegan meals, they have vegetarian meals, but they use a lot of cheese in the vegetarian meals that they do. Okay, we'll get back to your question in a second. But basically everything kind of comes fresh. You should need to refrigerate them the same way you would. So if they send you pesto as part of what they're sending you, you need to refrigerate that until you use it. The understanding would be that you're going to use them within a week. So they're not going to keep, I don't know if some of them would keep if you put them in the freezer the same way other frozen food would keep, but they're not going to keep for weeks on end. You really should use them during the week that you ordered them. Roberta was asking whether or not, yeah, you could certainly substitute other things, but basically what it does is it gives you all the ingredients. It doesn't give you like cooking oil. So if you just need like regular cooking oil, there's an assumption that you have like just regular cooking oil. So it gives you that, and it gives you a recipe card. So you keep that recipe card for the future if you want to make it on your own. So it's like any recipe. If you have something different that you want to substitute it for, you can substitute it, but they're not going to give you those substitutions. So if you say, I don't want to use tomato sauce, I want to use something else instead, you can't tell them, send me something else instead of tomato sauce. They're going to send you the ingredients for that meal. So sometimes when I was doing HelloFresh, I didn't use all the ingredients that they sent me. I didn't want to use them for whatever reason. So I just kept those ingredients and I used them for other things. So whatever is in that packet for that particular meal, you get all the ingredients that you need. It's your choice as to what to use or not. Does that, I hope that answers the question correctly. So anyway, we wanted to tell people about this just because it's an option. It's definitely an option that I have been looking at pretty seriously, and I'm going to try some of these. So I think you want to go to the next slide?
Yep. Okay, so does anybody have any other questions? You know, you can, if you want to ask out loud, you can just hit your space bar and it'll unmute you for whenever you want to speak, or put things in the chat and we'll look for that.
Hello, this is Loretta.
Hi, Loretta.
How you doing? Thank you for
Good.
all your investigations. It's wonderful. Because I think like I have 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I find it's so time consuming to chop all those vegetables, you know, because I made a chili yesterday and oh my God, I had to stay in, you know, because I had to chop, I had to cook, you know, and it tastes pretty good. But I like what you're saying, that, you know, you have all these possibilities that are already cooked. So you don't, you know, it's almost going into the freezer, like
Yeah.
getting,
Yeah.
even though you like fresh vegetables, you know, to go into the freezer and get a pack of spinach is much more, it's easier to do.
Right.
And I guess, yeah.
Go ahead. And one of the things that you'll see is once you explore one of these sites, what's going to happen is ads for all these other sites are going to pop up, you know, all these other like cooking sites, plant-based, where you can get the meals delivered, are going to start popping up on your computer. So you'll have a wealth. There's many more than the 5 that I mentioned here. There are so many that are plant-based now that there's a lot to choose from. And like I said, you can either find one that you really like, or you can dabble in a lot of them and get all of their best discount offers for the first like deliveries and then switch to another vendor. So
Right.
It's definitely worth, if you're like me, and it sounds like you're like me, it's like,
No, I am a lot like you.
yeah,
My breakfast is fine. My breakfast is great. You know, I'm perfect with the breakfast. But then the rest of the day, you know, and I would like a good cookie or something. So I eat Fig Newtons, which are, I think they're pretty good.
Mhm.
But a nice cookie, you know, would make me happy. And last night, I saw something from Heart Smarts. It was put on by Weill Cornell.
mhm.
And this doctor was speaking. It was about plant-based and the gut. And
Right.
he was so good. And the one thing that I learned there, you know, if you're looking for a good bread, how to find a bread that would be, you know, would have fiber in it. And the first thing he said, you know, instead of reading everything, if you just look at the carbs, how many carbs, and then how much fiber, and you divide the fiber into the carbs. And if it's 7 or less, it's a good fiber bread. And he mentioned the Ezekiel bread, and he said that comes about 4. But I got this bread up at Costco, and of course today I had to do my math, and that came up to 6. So I was so happy now that at least I have bread that would be good, you know, as far as the fiber.
Mhm.
So it's a learning experience, and I really thank you so much for all that you're doing. You know, you're planning you're going ahead, making the way for all of us to
So
experience.
thank you. Are there other people who had any resources that they want us to know about?
I mean, there's things we're looking to share with people. So, you know, anything that you've tried that we haven't mentioned.
I had one recipe I tried that was a really big hit. I also don't have tons of ingredients like you were saying, Margie, in my house. I have, very few ingredients. But if you take ripe bananas and put them in the freezer and make that nice cream they recommended, that stuff is delicious. I've been eating that like 3 or 4 times a week, and I made it for my son and my granddaughter, who's 2. And she was like licking the bowl. She liked it so much. It's only bananas, and you can put a little nut milk in it, if you like. And you whip it up in like less than a minute. So that's my kind of recipe. All I needed was bananas, nut milk I already had, and a blender.
So maybe one of the things we need to look at as a category, Barbara, is quick recipes. So things that you can make quickly, I think sounds like something that people could use. I also want to just make sure we answer Roberta's question. So you want, just to make sure we understand the question, you just want to know the RSS link is rssny.org. Is that what you were asking, or was it something else?
Yes, rss.org.
ny.org.
Okay. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure when this is going to be available, I want to be able to access it.
Yep.
It's already available.
Well, this is not already available. It will be.
Oh, no, this is not, but it will be shortly.
Right.
Just want to point out one other thing, and that is that a neighbor of mine went on one of these things where the meals came prepared. It was very, very expensive, but both he and his wife, who were decidedly overweight, one lost 75 pounds and the other lost almost 100. And it's because it's portion size as well as indicating when to eat and how to, there's no guesswork. It's not like, oh, I'm hungry at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. What should I get that's healthy? It's there for him.
Right. And that may be slightly different, because that may be, I don't know what program, every program is different. Yeah. I don't think this is as much like this. This is more probably like Hello Fresh, where you get the meals and you choose, like you could have breakfast for lunch or lunch for dinner or whatever you want to do. And like I said, the way to keep it cheapest in some ways is to go to a lot of different vendors and start like with different vendors and get their best deal for like the first week or 2 weeks, and then switch off to another vendor and try another one. Because all of them have these like ridiculously good deals, because they're just trying to get you as like a customer.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
It's more relating to something that I think everybody is concerned about, is of how much protein are we getting on a plant-based diet. And one of the things I have heard and asked doctors about, and it's been confirmed, that as we get older, our body doesn't absorb protein in the same way as when we were younger. Therefore, we need more protein. So when I hear, oh, you should have this amount of protein, is this geared to the senior? Is this geared to the rest of the population? And how much more, if it is geared to the rest of the population, how much more of that should we be consuming to get the right amount?
So did you want to say something, Barbara?
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to plant-based, it's really, when you come to variety, let me show you. Can I go back to the other, let me go to the RSS page, because I can show you this. I have this is the list of the download for, you can see, and it's actually a pretty good indication. This is a list of different plant-based protein sources. And you can see here that every single thing here, kidney beans, pinto beans, peanuts, different kinds of nuts. There are also different kinds of, I think, leafy greens.
So can you go to the top of the page? Can you go to the top of the page? So the first thing to look at the top of the page, it says the geriatrics. So it is geared. What it doesn't do, though, is it doesn't say to you how much should you have per day. It tells you what it's giving you per day, unless it's at the bottom, but it's not saying. So I think what's missing here, I think that's an incredible chart, and that's a really helpful chart. I think the only thing it's not saying is if you're, now again, also protein needs are also based on your weight and are you male or female? So to a certain extent, I don't think anyone can give you an exact like of what you should take. But what's missing here is it's not saying if you're like 65 to 75, you should be having this many grams of protein per day. So if you don't know that, then you don't really know when you look at this chart, what am I aiming for?
Correct.
So Barbara, I think we should put that down because that is something that Maureen in particular should address.
Oh, can I give another source for people?
Mhm.
The Hebrew Institute of Riverdale, I'll have to double check. It's, I think it's on Wednesday, is having a nutritionist, Erica Vinyas, who is speaking specifically about how to eat well. She's not necessarily vegan oriented, but I know personally that she is. But she's speaking how to prepare and shop and buy and so forth for Passover, so you'll have healthy meals. Because one of the problems is that there are some Jewish people who want to do the diet in the kosher Passover way, and we're not allowed to have beans or lentils or anything like that on the holiday. And
Right.
there goes a tremendous source of protein.
All right, so do you have the link to that? Because that's something we can put in our plant-based events, and we'll just say it's not an RSS event.
No, it has to be where people sign up individually, but I'll check right now and see what I have in information that I could
Yeah,
give.
there must be some way, even if they have to sign up individually, there must be a link to sign
It has
up.
to be, yeah.
There has to be some way that they sign up. So I think there's two things. One is we can add that for the Passover, but then we also need to have a conversation. It's almost like taking this chart and adding in the recommended that you should
Right.
have.
Okay.
Because that is part of the thing that I'm like, you know, I'm not sure how much protein I should have per day.
Right.
And your doctors are not, you know, the best source of that. They never seem to really like know.
Okay. The
Okay.
next question was if Moss Cafe would give RSS customers a discount. Their food is great. That would be something we'd have to talk to, you know, don't know.
Well, yeah. We can
have to talk to them.
ask that. I don't know how you would prove you're an RSS member though, if you don't have a card or something. So that's a conversation worth having with them. Even if they do it as an experiment. Do we want to go to the next slide? Because we're sort of almost wrapping up and we're almost at 2.
Sure. Yep.
We're past 2. Yeah, we're exactly at 2.
Okay.
So the next thing is in terms of like looking forward, on March 9th, we're going to have a meeting where we really talk about what we are going to be doing going forward. I can tell you that the plan is a couple of things. One is to have some sort of supportive group of all of us that also includes either Deborah or Maudine, who would facilitate those groups, and we'll have conversations sort of like what we're having right now. Very similar, where, you know, Roberta or somebody might say this is a challenge, and we'll talk about how to address those challenges or answer them or all learn kind of together. The other thing is we are definitely planning on doing an additional 1 or 2 courses with PPMNY between now and the end of June. So you will look forward to more PPMNY stuff going forward. We think that we haven't seen the results of everyone's comments on their survey, but our verbal that we've heard from people is that they've thought it was really a wonderful learning experience and a wonderful cooking experience, and people stayed for 2 hours and sat through the whole thing. So we'll look to do some more of that going forward. And I think that
Forward, not compose.
you got to mute everyone.
Yep.
We're good.
Okay. Next slide.
Okay, and then if you need a way to contact us, once again, we have the food@rssny.org if you have food, nutrition, and health questions. The info@rssny.org is still for events, general RSS information. And there's again the website for the plant-based Kickstart program, if you ever want to go and visit again. That is everything. So if anybody else has any more questions, comments, I see, who is it? Oh, I think you got a PhD in vegan eating and good resources, and you love the idea of having some prepared vegan meals in the freezer. I can't blame you.
All right, everybody. Please say goodbye.
Thanks a bunch. So long.
Thank you for
Bye.
the
Thank you.
information.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Appreciate the
Bye-bye.
information. Thank you. Bye.